in terms of hiding the men among us. Women, a lot of the things that we have been taught to think is chic and avant-garde and very bold is just hiding the male skeleton in our midst. That's all it is. It's hiding their bone structure, it's hiding their height, it's hiding their massive boat-shaped hands and feet. When compared to us, all of the things that have been dictated to females is just about hiding the men in our midst. So please let that be understood. So he's so in America, without knowing what the bone structure, the movement, and even the male eyes, that they tend to be a lot more hooded because the male brow extends out more than ours. Without God revealing, here are telltale signs. A lot of us wouldn't know. It is his kindness for us to know. Then people will come and say God is gossiping. God doesn't gossip, person, because God is not cheap. What God is into is truth and revelation. Because that people who do drag, that is badly done trance. God is not talking about that. He's talking about the fact that you wouldn't want to accept that Sophia Loren. You wouldn't want to accept the fact that Brooke Shields. You wouldn't want to accept Farrah Fawcett, who died of anal cancer. I wonder why. Because that was a homosexual. That was a man and that was a homosexual. You wouldn't want to accept that these were men. So, her face. It wasn't really there, but you were seeing it as a spiritual reveal of what she really was. It's only God who can show you what is what now. You are in a time when deception is at an all-time high, and naivete, being naive, acting blind, sticking your head in the sand like an ostrich, it will not serve you. You have to look harder. You have to search deeper now for understanding. It's a man going by a woman's metrics, and that was indeed a male to female according to the gifts of the devil, which have now taken over the times in which you live. And so now this was the Lord getting my attention and telling me, be still and understand. This man is not wrong. You see, you need to understand. And I wasn't able to tell, but because the Holy Spirit was there, the Lord was able to inform me, well, this next dream has absolutely nothing to do with that. This next dream takes us into the realm that I'm always talking about, where I'm saying that as we go further and further and further into the end times, whether people believe it or not, whether people accept it or not, or whether people are afraid of it or not, or whether even there's millions of people around the world who are excited to hear and to know that we're going into a time period, we are going into a portion of human history that is going to neatly curve back and close the loop to what times were like in the very ancient beginning of societies, when they had alchemists, when they had druids, when magic was real, when magic was acceptable, when magic was coveted, when magic was hunted after. People were looking for wands. People would openly be in the marketplace selling different types of wood and saying, oh, this wood is a very good wood, very light, very good for light spells, but for heavy spells, dark work, dark magic, madam, you are going to need this rather more thick, knobbly kind. This was life. Okay, this was how life was before the flood, and this is how life was after the flood. The advent of the fallen angels, their descent from Mount Hermon to mix with human beings, brought all types of diabolical, wicked knowledge, and some of it light knowledge, how to heal using herbs and tinctures and stuff like that. All these things came and mixed with society, and even after the flood, they were not wiped out. They came back a second time, and this is why we have the things that we have today. These things have been on the fringes of human society, but I want to let you know that they are going to come back. They are going to mix and meld with us seamlessly, or near as seamlessly as Satan is able to accomplish. You can hear God saying that it will never be perfect. There will always be telltale signs. Well, that kind of life, that kind of time is going to come back, and it will be no different to the changing of human beings, to touching the human organism, to touching us as God's creation, changing us, manipulating the genetic codex, and of course, this hot topic, the manipulation of sex, whereby you think you can split gender off of sex, biological sex, and create a second construct, and then say, oh no, well, sex is there. I mean, we see what we see on the body, but then gender is a far more fluid, and we can make it anything that we want. This is delusion, but Satan is going to greatly play into that delusion by supernatural means.